Hey, real quick, thanks to Nalkin1 for suggesting the topic, but Nalkin wanted me to do a pod on Mentor and my thoughts. So my thoughts on Mentor is I think that between he and Ben Herbert, they are extremely important to the future success of the Los Angeles Chargers. I don't know how long Mentor is going to be around, hopefully a long time. But I think the good thing about Mentor, is that Jim Harbaugh is bringing a really large staff, and with him bringing a large staff of people familiar with the topic, I think that Jesse Mentor is going to do a very good job of communicating the defensive system to the players, which I don't necessarily know was done under Brandon Staley because everyone was always confused. And you always saw the jump and play when the defense stopped with this complicated system that Staley was trying to run. And when he dumbed it down when the stars were out of the game, like Derwin James was out, Joey Bosa's out, they dumbed everything down. Then all of a sudden the defense started playing phenomenally. And then when those guys came back, they went in the tubes. And, we had people arguing, well, the defense isn't better without Derwin James and Joey Bosa. And what they actually meant, I believe, is that if Brandon Staley was calling the defense the same way and letting Derwin James just play safety like he let the replacements just play safety and didn't mess things up with I don't know what he did with Joey Bosa to make the defense worse without Joey Bosa, but he did something. But anyway, I don't think that's going to happen. And here's why. So Jesse Mentor, he has a defensive philosophy. You may have heard it. It's block destruction, obnoxious communication, shocking effort, and ball disruption. So what he means by block destruction is he's emphasizing the importance of the defense to defeat blocks and disrupt the opponent's offensive plays. Concept is integral to his philosophy. It's going to focus on aggressively attacking the offense, ensuring that the defensive players can effectively penetrate blocks to tackle ball carriers and pressure the quarterback. This approach is aimed at enhancing the overall effectiveness of the defense by limiting the offensive options of the opposing team. So instead of the defense that Mr. Staley had for us, where the guys were basically trying to read what the other team is doing and then react to it, which is never, like, in all of my years of watching football and not really studying it that deeply, one thing that I know for sure, read and react defense never works out, or it hasn't worked out for the Chargers the whole time I've been watching them. They did a whole lot better when you had a guy like Junior Seau predicting what the defense was going to do almost right 100% of the time and running into the backfield, disrupting them. So it seems like that's a concept that Jesse Mentor is going to be running. The other thing, and this is another thing that it's going to be night and day from the defense and the way it used to be, is obnoxious communication. So Jesse Mentor uses the term obnoxious communication to describe a key principle of his defensive strategy, emphasizing the importance of loud, clear, and constant communication among defensive players on the field. This type of communication is crucial for ensuring that all players are aware of their roles, adjustments, and the action of their teammates during the game. So it sounds like there's going to have to be a lot of trust involved in this. It also involves making calls, signaling changes in coverage or alignment, and ensuring that every player understands the defensive strategy for each play. The goal of obnoxious communication is to prevent misunderstandings and errors, enhance the coordination of the defense, and disrupt the offense's ability to execute their plays effectively. A recurring theme. Now here's, so I guess obnoxious communication, they really need to choose wisely as to who's gonna wear the communication helmet, whatever it's called, or the green dot. So they're gonna have to make sure that they pick the right person for that, and that doesn't necessarily, in my opinion, need to be the leader of the team, or just who's the best at communicating. Shocking effort is the next of the three pillars of Jesse Mentor's defense. Next to the four pillars. I don't think it just said three. Oh, shocking effort. This term emphasizes the importance of an extraordinary, relentless effort from his players on every play. This term emphasizes the importance. I just read that. It's about pushing beyond normal expectations to disrupt the opponent's game plan and execute at the highest level. This kind of effort can often lead to game-changing plays. It's a key component of Mentor's successful defensive strategy. The concept is intended to inspire players to consistently give their utmost, ensuring that the defense operates with maximum intensity and effectiveness. So if you ever gone against, we won't even say the Ravens. Well, let's go way back and talk about the Tennessee Titans that I used to hate playing against from the mid-2000s. Very physical defense that really couldn't mess with the Chargers talent-wise, but always gave the Chargers trouble because of the intensity that they came with. So, yeah, I think that if you can convince these players to give shocking effort, one of the biggest goals or one of the biggest problems with giving shocking effort is running out of steam, because once you run out of steam, you just kind of give up on things. Think Gerald Everett falling down, exhausted, and your boy, and this is not last year, but the year before, and your boy Justin Herbert throwing an interception return for a touchdown, which should have been a touchdown for the Chargers, but Gerald Everett was too tired. So I think that shocking effort is going to be crucial this is going to be where Ben Herbert earns his money, because if guys are going to be given an effort like this, they need to be conditioned. That's Ben Herbert's job. And part of conditioning, it's not just going out and working on endurance, but it's also being your nutrition, being well fed, and eating the right things at the right time, getting your rest in, doing the exercises that make you the most effective. So I think that this is the shocking effort is going to be, this is where Ben Herbert's going to shine here, that shocking effort. Now, I won't name any players. There is a player that's been criticized for his efforts. Hopefully that player that they've been criticizing, his effort is also shocking, because if it is, it's going to be great for the Chargers defense. The last of the four is ball disruption. That's pretty obvious. I think this is everyone's philosophy, but Jesse Minter's concept of ball disruption refers to his defensive strategy that emphasizes creating turnovers and affecting the quarterback's ability to deliver the ball effectively. This includes techniques such as stripping the ball, intercepting passes, batting down throws, and pressuring the quarterback to force hurried or inaccurate throws. The goal of ball disruption is to limit the offense's success and create opportunities for the defense to change the momentum of the game by taking the ball away or preventing successful pass completion. So obviously that's one of the keys to retaining Aloy Gilman, because that's Aloy Gilman's personality to a T. The guy is always trying to disrupt and strip the ball. Gets his interceptions here or there. I mean, if the entire defense can take on the personality of Aloy Gilman, that's exactly what they need. So I think that that ought to be something that we see an immediate impact, or an immediate improvement, excuse me. Now, let's talk about the defensive system. Jesse Minter runs a defensive scheme that's called the 4-2-5, and I think he might also put in elements of the 3-4. And he also does cover 3 and cover 1, which I really didn't look into that much, so I'm not really going to talk about the cover 3, cover 1 part of it. Let's see. Jesse's scheme, which he adapted and utilized during his tenure at Michigan, is known for its flexibility and ability to disguise defensive intentions effectively. So that'll be good when you're playing someone like Mahomes. I don't know if Mahomes can be fooled, though, because you mess around with Mahomes, I don't know that you can fool Mahomes like that. Maybe you can, I don't know. I think the key with Mahomes is getting pressure on him, which is the reason why he wanted, Bosa, he wanted Mac, he wanted Thule all together, because that gives him a bit of an advantage. But anyway, Minter's defense emphasizes 4 key pillars. Let's repeat them. Block destruction, obnoxious communication, shocking effort, and ball disruption, which collectively contribute to a formidable and dynamic defensive unit. Okay, so what I wanted to look at with that, okay, so what are the crucial positions? And let's talk about maybe some of the players that we have. So it listed, when I was looking it up, I came up with 3 different positions, which were not what I was expecting. So Sam linebacker. Sam linebacker, this position is crucial as it often functions as a hybrid player who can act both as a linebacker and a defensive back. The Sam linebacker needs to be versatile enough to cover in man situations, take on blockers, and rush the passer. So let's take a quick look at the Sam linebacker. So it says here in my research, the Sam linebacker often functions as a hybrid player with the body of a big safety or a very athletic linebacker, capable of covering in man, taking on blockers, rushing the passer, and making tackles near the line of scrimmage. Kind of sounds like Derwin James a little bit there, but no. Derwin James is hopefully going to stay at safety. Instincts. Linebackers must be instinctive and able to read offenses quickly and react accordingly to make plays. They need to be strong enough to play on the line of scrimmage if necessary, but also athletic enough to play in coverage. Agility. Displaying loose hips and great knee bend, playing under their pads, and being able to match up and run down offensive players are also key attributes. Sam linebackers are important to the 4-2-5 defense. 4-2-5 defense has 5 defensive backs, including the Sam linebacker, who are often box players that focus on stopping the run and covering underneath the receiver. So it's not saying here that there's 4 defensive backs plus the Sam linebackers, another defensive back. No, it's 5 defensive backs plus the Sam linebacker also covering. So let's not go too much in that. But so who do we have that can function the Sam linebacker? So Deion Henley. We don't really, at least I don't really know too much about Deion Henley based on his play because he really didn't get an opportunity to play much last year. But this is what we know of Deion Henley as he was touted before he came in the league. So he has the size and speed. Henley stands at 6'2" and weighs 225 pounds with a wingspan of 78 and 3/8 inches. He also recorded a 40-yard dash time of 4.54 seconds. This combination of size and speed is ideal for a linebacker in the 4-2-5 defense where mobility and range are crucial. Henley excels in coverage, a critical skill for 4-2-5 linebackers. So he should be able to, just based on his physical skills, it's not talking about his knowledge of the game, but should give him the ability to cover tight ends, running backs, and even slot receivers in a pinch. And he was also a former wide receiver at Nevada, so that contributes to his impressive abilities in man coverage, fluid hips, and good route recognition. Well, there you go. Now, let's see. Let's just kind of read through this so I'm not repeating the same thing. He operates well in space. It says play recognition and quickness for Henley. Henley is quick to sniff out screens and has the acceleration to close on plays, both which help him in zone and man coverage situation. This quick decision-making ability to react swiftly are vital for a linebacker in the 4-2-5. He is also noted as a consistent tackler, which is awesome. Okay, so who's the other guy? Nick Niemann? So Nick Niemann, I really couldn't find as much information on. It says here, Nick Niemann has good cover skills, and he also has good foot speed. He runs a 4.51 40, which is pretty. I didn't know he was actually faster than Deion Henley. I don't know about his agility and the looseness of his hips. But there are notes that Nick Niemann could get lost in coverage at times. So he's got the physical tools to be a good coverage linebacker, but there's some room for improvement. So there's that. I didn't really look up any of the other linebackers. hopefully, I'll talk about this at the end as far as like what we could do about it. But all right, safety. So both safeties, especially the strong safety, play pivotal roles in the 4-2-5 defense. Good thing we have Derwin James. They need good size and strength as they often have significant run responsibilities in addition to their coverage duties. The safeties are usually the play callers of the defense and are critical in ensuring the defensive alignment is correct in responding to the offensive play. So I don't know if they're going to have Derwin do that or not. Maybe they will, but we know that this defense fits Derwin James, which is why Jim Harbaugh is so excited to have him. You know what? I wrote up some things about Alohi Gilman, but the power went out, and I thought it was restored, but I guess that's where the power, that's where we lost everything. So Alohi Gilman. So off the top of the head with Alohi Gilman, I think that he has pretty average speed for an NFL player, but he's very tenacious, and he fits into Jesse Minter's scheme because of his tenaciousness. He might have some physical limitations like being able to just line up and run with the fastest players, even though I do remember him knocking away a ball from Tyreek Hill. I just think Alohi Gilman and Derwin James fit perfectly into the scheme, and I think they need a third. And guess what? I just happen to still have what I wrote up of JT Woods, which I'm excited about because I don't know if I would have remembered. So JT Woods, a third safety. Now, this guy really didn't play much under the Chargers, and people have been down on him. He's still missing tackles, which was the biggest complaint about him. But this is what we'll say. So he's noted for having great coverage skills, having allowed the fewest yards per coverage snap among safeties in his draft class. At Baylor, Woods played a variety of safety spots, so that suggests that he has the versatility required to play in the 4-2-5 and might be able to fulfill multiple roles on the defense, even though I'm not a big fan of people playing multiple roles. Just let that man play one role and master that one role. Now, there's been talk that his ball skills are average, and he misses a lot of tackles, which we know is a fact. So he can be a liability if he doesn't get the whole tackling thing cleared up. So he's got some room for improvement. Now, the defensive tackles, we got, that was the third. So let me just recap. So the Sam linebacker is one important position. Both safeties is another, or are another. And then defensive tackles are another important position. Now, this is something that has driven me crazy because we know, like any of us longtime Charger fans know, that Jamal Williams is an all-time Chargers great, and he really made the defense. He might have been the single most important player on the Chargers team. And would I say he's more important than Phillip Rivers or LaDainian Tomlinson or Antonio Gates? I would say he's up there with those three guys as far as importance. And we don't have a defensive tackle like a Jamal Williams, and I think that's something we would need in order for Jesse Minter's defense to be effective, or as effective as it can be. So anyway, defensive tackles, the interior defensive linemen, particularly the defensive tackles, are vital as they are responsible for controlling the run game and need to be athletic enough to compensate for having one fewer linebacker than the traditional defenses like the 4-3. So we're going to be running a 4-2-5 or a 3-4, not the 4-3. So it's very important to have a very, very powerful defensive tackle in there. And I don't necessarily know that we have it. I know we have Scott Matlock and Otito Obonya. I haven't really seen enough out of those guys to know what they bring. So I would definitely be looking for a defensive tackle in the draft. But anyway, this is what a 4-2-5 defensive tackle needs to have. So he needs to be exceptionally strong to handle double teams and maintain control at the line of scrimmage. So now I'm going to have to go back nostalgia. And I don't know what year it was, the late 90s. But we had Jamal Williams was the young draft pick, and we had John Perella and Norman Hand. And to me, that's one of the greatest trios of defensive tackles any team has ever had. think they allow some ridiculously low, like yards per carry, like something like 2.4 or 2.5 yards per carry. And the crowd was literally laughing at the other team anytime they try to run, and they would say, you can't run, you can't run, you can't run. With a team having a tradition like that, and I believe that, let me actually do a quick Google search. Did John Harbaugh play, I'm not typing very well, with Norman Hand? Nah, it didn't tell me. Let me look one other place. And the reason why I'm looking this up is because I want to see whether or not Jim Harbaugh is going to place emphasis, if he has personal experience with this dominating defensive front. So did John Harbaugh play with Norman Hand? Well, we'll come back to that. But anyway, let's keep going. So basically, if you're going to have a 3-4 defense, you need to have like a big old space eater in there that's hard to move out of the way, so he completely disrupts the middle of the field. And I did look up a few players, and I don't remember. I looked up Byron Murphy, a dude named Rook, that I don't remember. So I'll put it to you like this. There's a guy named T'Vondre Sweat. Okay. I put John Harbaugh. No, Jim Harbaugh. Oh, my God. Sorry, guys. And I just typed in Jim Harbaugh, but didn't put down, did he play with Norman Hand? Oh, my God. But anyway, back to what we were talking about. Let me actually pause this real quick. And we're back. So, yes, Jim Harbaugh did play with Norman Hand in 1999. So, here's the thing. I was just playing around with this. Now, I'm going on a tangent about defensive tackles because to me, that's the most important position on the field, right? So we're taking a look at the early 2000s. So in 1999, the Los Angeles Chargers and the Baltimore Ravens led the NFL in yards per carry against the rush, 3.1 yards per carry. And 1998, the Chargers only gave up 2.7 yards per carry. And in 2000, they only gave up 3 yards per carry. The Ravens gave up 2.7 that year. And then 2001, guess what? The Chargers and Ravens also tied for the league lead with the Jaguars, 3.4 yards per carry. So not only is it important for the Chargers to have a defensive tackle that dominates the run, but since we're going to be supposedly the Baltimore Ravens West, as everyone's saying, we got to go back to that tradition of having a dominant defensive tackle. And I think that it's absolutely essential for the Chargers to go out and draft a defensive tackle that's going to dominate against the run if this defense is going to be successful this year. We have the pass rushers. We have a defensive end or two. They can play really well against the run, plus Tooling. So what we really need is a defensive tackle we can't have any questions. We have to know. We have to have a guy go out there and absolutely, with the physical attributes to completely dominate against the run. So a guy like T'Vondre Sweat, who's not really very fast, but he's 6'4", 362 pounds, can't be moved. Now I know that he had the DUI. I'm sorry to hear about that, but we need this guy to dominate that defense. Now, I'm sure there are other defensive tackles. I looked some of them up. I can't remember exactly what I wrote, but I didn't get to T'Vondre Sweat, but that's the guy that I want. I need a guy in the middle that you can't move out of the way, and then the rest of the team just comes in and cleans you up. But anyway, that's about it. Sorry that the end of this kind of got messed up, but that power went out, and I was not about to rewrite all that. Apologies. But yeah, let me know if you enjoyed it, and if you have any other subjects you want me to try to cover. See ya.